And I think that's true. I think I think that if Hitler and Mussolini had been stopped at that time, there would have been a whole different, things would have turned out differently. What if? What if?
But I remember looking at the New York Times on the front page. It had a picture of Franco on a podium outdoors watching his fascist troops march by in Madrid, where so many of our guys lost their lives. You can imagine how I felt.
So it was sad, very sad. And it was especially sad because we knew some of the consequences for our friends in Spain, what they would have to go through. We were in good shape. We went home. We had that luxury.
They came running to our house, and said, tell my mother that Franco won, what's going to happen to our families? Oh my God, I hope they don't go down the road and just pull them out and shoot them in cold blood like they've been doing. Fortunately, my sister survived.
That's a heartbreak. They should have done more to help win the war in Spain. They could have, in my opinion. But they couldn't even fight their way. They didn't know how to fight Finland. They didn't know how to put their snowshoes on. But at the time, it was a heartbreak. It was a heartbreak because we know what happened. This isn't just history. This is the tragedy. Such a tragedy. Not just the Holocaust, but everything. Hitlerism ruined the world for the 20th century. And there was nobody to fight him, really. Nobody stood up against Hitler. Nobody. Fucking Stalin was just as crazy as Hitler. Put that in the record.
I knew about Guernica, I knew about Bolshevik, Teruel, Jarama. Those were words that were talked about every single day of my life. It was our passion. It was my passion. It was the end of the world for me. When Franco walked into Madrid, and I saw that in the newsreels, I cried, and I couldn't get over it. It really was my passion as a child. And I'm sorry to be so emotional. Spain meant so much. It was a pure cause. For me, I didn't know what the communists were doing, what the Comintern was doing, what the anarchists were doing, but it was a pure cause, and it was the cause of my life and all my friends.
I'm 90 years old now. I spent a year and a half in Spain, relatively. Do the math, it's just but Spain will never leave me. I don't dawdle around and I don't examine my navel about it, but it's there. And the fact that we lost that damn war, it's one of the reasons I hold on to it so much.
When we learned that the war had been won by Franco's forces, it was a devastating defeat and a deep sorrow. Terrible. Because with a sense of great foreboding, a recognition that we were not going to have peace for a long time. And we didn't. And we don't.